Welcome back to the Kayak Bass Connection Podcast. So this is the official podcast of the Southern Illinois Kayak Club and their bass tournament trail. I am your host, Jared. Winter's gone. Gone. God, winter's gone. We've finally got some fishing to talk about here. Tonight on episode 51, we're going to do a recap of the first Southern Illinois Kayak Club tournament of the year, SIKC Classic. So that was held March 28th and 29th at Marsh outside of Canton, Illinois. So if you're new to the channel or new to the club or just new to kayak fishing, the tournament trail has half a dozen regular season events, and the Classic is not one of those regular season events. The only way that you are able to fish the Classic is to earn your way into it by your standings in the 2025 season, sort of like the Bassmaster Classic. Subsequently, the Classic is always packed with great anglers, and we have the top three finishers here tonight to talk about this crazy event. So I want to go ahead and welcome to our program tonight. We got Dalton Williams, which is no stranger to anybody that has seen this podcast. I think he's on at least half the episodes, it seems like. And second place, Jeff Shear. So welcome back, Jeff. You were on last year as a rookie.
Yep. Thanks for having me, man.
And then third place, Dustin Siegel. Dustin has been around the tournament trail a long time, and he was just remarking he's very happy with his third place finish. Well, sort of kind of happy, I guess. Welcome back, Dustin. Hi. Guys, this was an interesting tournament. The weather really was amazing. I was able to attend the tournament. I was watching the weather, and we had like a 60-degree temperature swing 24 hours before the tournament trail started. So what did you guys find when you showed up at the ramp on the 20th?
Found a lot of people not that decided they were going to sleep in a little longer, from what I remember.
Yeah, what I understand as well.
Kessler was trying to meet Lee to give him a flag, and Lee walked outside and said, "I'm not coming to the ramp until like 9 o'clock or something." So then that didn't happen. Yeah. It was just pretty bad. That was the coldest tournament I fished in, and that was, I think it was. I saw in my car dash 22 degrees. I don't know how accurate that was.
Yeah,
but I think previously it was 30. It was the coldest before that.
So I was checking the weather records. It showed for Peoria, which is about 10 miles away or so. At 6 o'clock in the morning, it was 26 degrees on the Saturday.
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
I think my truck was reading 28.
And that didn't include any wind chill, and it was 4 or 5 mile an hour wind too. So.
Yeah, I got a bunch of those sticker hot hands, and I stuck them all over my body, and then put my jackets on. It actually worked really well, except my hands and feet were really cold. But my body was like a furnace.
Yeah, it lines out. It only had gotten up to 49 degrees. So it didn't exactly get real warm during the day, but Saturday. That's one thing I didn't mention. This is a 2-day tournament, so this is a different strategy for a lot of people. This is a different commitment. So did you guys change the way you looked at this tournament based upon the fact that it was 2 days instead of just a single day?
I didn't
stop fishing early.
Yeah, I stopped fishing early on Saturday, and I wish I didn't. That was about it. Wouldn't have mattered. I still would have got third place because I sucked on Sunday, but I would have had more fun Saturday if I would have kept fishing, I think.
Yeah, I noticed that as far as like the weights and stuff for Saturday, for day one for Saturday, only 5 out of 17 anglers caught their limit of 5 fish. 3 anglers had 0 on day one, but it improved a little bit for day 2. We had 6 anglers get their same number of 5 fish, but then we had 5 anglers at 0. Definitely a tough tournament.
Yeah, it was definitely slow Saturday morning. I think that was my best day, but it was probably an hour and a half in before I started finding fish. But that was a chilly start, man. Also, I left my pedal drive at the hotel and didn't realize until I had everything else in the kayak, and a wife was with me and was dropping me off, and she's like, "You good to go?" I'm like, yeah, "No." But so just literally kind of dead in the water, waiting on her to get back. I paddled around and made a few casts once it was lines in, but just had to hang out the ramp there, an extra 15, 20 minutes, which was fine considering how cold it was that morning.
Yeah,
I thought Saturday was pretty easy fishing. It was kind of dumb. I thought all my reels were broken for a little bit because they wouldn't turn, but there was so much ice in the line guides you couldn't turn your reels. All the line was getting stuck. So I didn't really start fishing till like 8:30. or 9 o'clock ish. But then by like 10:30, I had 4 fish above 16 inches, and I just kind of periodically caught them all day. But I got them shallow, which I didn't really expect. I didn't pre-fish at all because it was freezing the day before, and I didn't want to go out. And then at the end of the day, I found water temperature that had heated up to 58 because it was bright sun all day, and I slaughtered fish. It was great.
Nice, man.
But then the next day it was warmer, and I couldn't find water temperature above 54 because it was cloudy all day, and I couldn't catch anything but little 13 inch.
Yeah, so Saturday's temperature at launch was like 42 degrees versus 26 the day before. And at least, I'm sorry, at least on Sunday it was warmer at 42 degrees, and then it was 60 degrees by the time you got off the water. Sunday definitely a better day to be on the water.
Yeah, Sunday was more comfortable. It just there was no big fish in any of the places I was fishing, so it was kind of sucked. I didn't like it, but
yeah. Speaking of, go ahead.
I caught one on my 19th Saturday, and it was right at 7 o'clock, so 30 minutes after line's end. And I remember looking at that fish, I'm like, I don't want to touch you at all.
yeah.
I kept looking at him like, it's going to happen either way. But
So what kind of water temperatures were you looking at on Saturday when it was so cold?
Like I said, the Saturday water temps were pretty good. I think they started at like the high 30s from what I saw, but then they got all the way up to, I think the highest I saw was 58.2 or something like that. And that 58.2 area was super hot. There were fish all over it.
Yeah, I think when I started off, it was like around 49 or 50, and before the sun really came up, and guys were still trying to freeze up, I was practically holding my whole reel in the water, because with the water temp being warmer, it knock the ice off of it, and I get maybe 2 casts in, and then have to do the same thing, and it's like forget it. Like I just kind of see what I can do, cover water, and actually try and use my fish finder for once and see if I see something that I could come back to later.
Now, Jeff, you had an amazing big bass of the tournament. Tell us about that story.
That actually came in the afternoon. I think maybe like around 1 o'clock or something like that on Saturday. Mentioned at the ramp that day after I found out I was in the lead. I'm terrible at throwing a bait caster, and at the back of Wheel Lake I was on, so windswept area on the north that had some good grass on it, and I kind of explored the back of that cove and didn't have any luck, so I started throwing a chatterbait in that grass, and honestly I must have hit it like right on the head or something, because as soon as I went to reel it in, I felt the weight and set the hook and thought I just had a lump of grass, and I think it ended up being 21 and a half inches. So I was double excitement for me because I'm terrible with a bait caster, and that's it.
That's a hog.
Kind of impressed myself with that one.
That's a beauty there. Now, you said you're terrible with a bait caster, so will you usually throw spinning gear then?
Yeah, I'm usually finesse fisherman, and I know it's kind of feels like for me it's definitely a quality over a quantity thing. I've had a good month that carried over into the tournament over the weekend, but I like throwing swing head jigs, dragging finesse jigs, and pitching stuff into heavy cover and things like that. And only thing I was bummed about this weekend was I was hoping to be a little bit warmer for a top water bite. That'd been nice to have out there.
So Dalton, you're the big winner of the event, right? So you had a total of 179 and a half inches. Jeff is 1 inch, correct. 1 inch behind you.
Yeah. I should have broke 180 at the end of the tournament on Sunday. I had a fish on the board, and I went to go take a picture, and he flopped right off and went right into the water.
Oh, man. So your big fish looked like it. Let's see, what was your biggest fish? You remember?
20 and a half, 20 and 3/4.
Yeah,
one of those two.
You had a 20, over 20. I remember seeing that.
It was a 20 and a half because mine was bigger.
Yeah, that's right. I should have told you about that extra quarter you got.
Yeah, what's up with that?
What?
How did he grow?
Oh, Dawn was looking at the picture and told me that its fin hit 20 and 3/4, and I didn't notice when I uploaded it, so I got myself a quarter more inches. And at the time, I was really happy about that because I thought it was going to be big bass, and then I saw Jeff's, and I was like, God, that sucks.
Sorry, man.
It's all right.
That's one thing.
I haven't won
sorry.
Yeah, I haven't won big bass in years. The last time I won big bass, though, was 21 and 3/4. I feel like you have to be like 21 and 3/4 to be pretty confident. It's a good
I mean,
number.
last year I was pretty confident about my 21 at Cedar, and I got beat by a 22.
Yeah, it's true.
So we've had historic low water levels here in the central Illinois area. So how was Banner Marsh? I mean, it is a marsh for some of it anyway. So it's always pretty shallow. How was the water depth this time around? versus last?
It was low. It was low. I mean, a lot of the reeds that I fished there before, they weren't out of the water, but they definitely were barely in the water. You really couldn't flip the reeds or anything like we usually do. But there was you could still fish them though. I mean, I fished the reeds 99% of the time, and I mean, fish were still going up there. They just weren't going like into them or anything. Yeah, I don't know. Other than that, it kind of fished exactly like it always has from in the places I've fished. I mean, you just throw a chatterbait till your arm falls off, and then you go home and hope you did well. That's it.
Now, did anybody chatterbaits always are very, very popular. I think they're the winningest, most lure that we've had on this tournament trail. But what else did you guys have success with?
I got two tube fish. I started my day on Saturday thinking I was going to get them a little deeper, so I was throwing a tube and a jig around in areas I thought they'd move off to when it got cold, and I got one fish doing that the entire time on a tube. And then at the end of the day on Sunday, because I had 5 fish in the 13 range, I thought I needed to get a couple over 16, so I just started flipping structure with a tube just to try to keep third place away from Susie and Bryson, and I caught another 16 on a tube. So I had 2 tube fish. Everything else was chatterbait.
So you've been fishing tubes a while, or you've been listening to Kevin?
Kevin got me into tubes a couple years ago, and I'll tell you that the tube is my favorite bait. You can throw that thing anywhere and catch fish. It's awesome, and when they bite it, it's usually 100% hookup. It's great. I love it. I use different hooks than he does, though. I like his hooks a lot, but you can't buy them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Trocar hooks; are pretty nice. Those Trocar tube hooks are pretty sweet.
Very cool. What about you, Dalton? Did you have any luck with anything other than chatterbait?
Most of mine were on jig. Me and Dustin was fishing the same lake, and he was fishing in what 2-3 feet of water,
Yeah.
and I was fishing in 8 to 15 feet of water. And every time I fished shallow, I couldn't catch anything.
I tried to fish in the deeper water, and I couldn't catch anything in the deeper water.
That's wild. I guess I think most of mine came in probably like 3 to 5 feet, so kind of almost that medium depth. Yeah, maybe 5 to 10 feet for a few up super skinny.
Man,
I think at the end of the day, the fish I got at the end of the day on Saturday were like in 5 inches of water. I mean, you could see their backs flying across this mud flat. It was so shallow.
Nice.
It was awesome.
There's probably an important lesson there. So you guys are all fishing sort of different depths, yet all of you did well, right? So these tournaments, there's more than one way to win them. It's not like you got to find just one thing that works, right? So you guys all made the best of what you're doing.
I cheated though, because I just went to a spot that I fished with Darren the year before, and he got 182 inches in one day at a tournament, and I got 100 the same day. He got 182 inches off this spot that I fished. Jeez. I got 166. And the 10 fish limit tournament, we each got, I got 166 and he got 182. So I figured the spot I was at had a lot of big fish in it. It's just Sunday they weren't there, but Saturday they were there. It was awesome. It was just like last year when Darren and I fished a team tournament there.
So how is the 2-day tournament format? I noticed that we had fewer anglers generally in a classic. We had 17 anglers that showed up, uploaded 100 fish. I know that just today, I think our tournament director sent out a survey about the 2-day format and just the overall kind of after action survey from the classic. Did you guys all get that yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But then I talked to Kessler about the results, so I kind of have an idea of what the results are too.
Okay. Well, so what was your input that you send in?
I like it. I think for a championship, it should be different. I think the 2-day adds a little bit of a variation in there, mm-hmm. that you got to be able to catch your fish multiple days. Like, the fish I was fishing for were good for Saturday, but there was something about how the weather changed going into Sunday that they weren't there, and I couldn't pick up on that.
Same.
Dalton and Jeff did, so they're better than me. So they won. So I look at that. That's why I think the 2-day format is kind of cool, because it's not just going out there one day and everything working for you in one day. You actually have to demonstrate that you can kind of change with the day. And for a classic, which is supposed to be the best guys in kind of our championship, I think it's cool, bud. And so I was a huge proponent for the 2-day event for our championship, and I hope we keep doing it. But I can tell you from in my insider discussions with Kessler. No one else really liked it much.
Yeah,
I
I
liked it a
imagine
lot.
I did too. But I imagine some of the answers on that quiz were, you could tell there were some discouraged anglers out there, and I can imagine, them wanting to go back to one day, which, I mean, that's understandable. I mean, I can empathize with that. If I'd had a bad day, I wouldn't want to be out there for 2 days, having a bad day and then a worse day or something like that.
And there
I
is
wish those, other anglers would have had better days for sure.
there is ways to compromise on it. Like I know KBL, they've always done their classic where it's 10 fish total. So even after day one, you're not out of it because you can replace every single fish.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And that's something that maybe we could think about trying to see if people like that better in the future, or go back to one day. I mean, either way, I'll go fish them. And I think, most of the same people will, but it definitely seemed to be something people were not as enthusiastic about.
Yeah, I'll still be there.
Yeah. Yeah, because Dalton will win regardless. So it won't really matter.
Reigning champion ain't gonna turn it down either way.
That's the one thing I could say. If it was one day, I would have beat Dalton. So that would have been, I kind of like the one day idea.
Yeah, you guys brought. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, I was going to say the only other thing I added, which, I mean, obviously you probably couldn't do it in this weather in the spring on that survey, was if you did like I don't know what the hours would be, like basically where you could fish at night, like the whole weekend. I would not want to be a tournament director for that, but if you could do everything safety and the weather was cooperative, you could fish like from say 6 p.m. on Friday until whatever 3 p.m. on Sunday or something like that.
Okay.
And, if you're really hardcore, you could be out there all, sleepless and fishing all weekend, but, do the same thing, like 10, either 5 or 10 fish. But I don't think you're in the Midwest, where, definitely not in the spring in a place where you could, do that, kind of thing where you could fish at night and everything.
Yeah. Well, kudos to our tournament director for just taking the time to ask, collecting that information and making some decisions based upon angler input. I think that's huge.
Yeah, and I know part of the reason it's probably almost the sole reason we were in Banner, because we voted on where to go, because we were supposed to go to Newton, okay, and for the Classic. In case people don't know what was really happened, we were supposed to go to Newton, and I was on that scheduler at midnight pushing the Newton button for last weekend. And I was the first one to push the button for our date. So we were supposed to go to Newton for the Classic. But then we found out we got bumped for the kids tournament at Newton that we didn't know was that date. But apparently when the kid tournament's up, they don't care what order you book it. They get it. So at that point, while I'm pushing the date for that, other people are pushing all the other dates. And so Newton got booked up and we didn't get it. And then we kind of had a vote on where to go. And I was the tie-breaking vote between Sankaris and Banner, which were two late lakes we got booked. And I like Banner, so I picked Banner. So then that's why we went.
Thanks, Dustin. I'm glad you picked Banner too, man.
Yeah, I'm glad.
See, I really like Banner. I've only ever had one really bad fishing experience at Banner ever. I think other people don't like Banner as much as maybe I do, but I think it's a great place. But I've done a lot of team tournaments there with Dalton and Susie and Darren, and so I have some spots that I know that are pretty good just from those idiots. And it's fun. I think it's fun.
Well, it's a unique fishery. I mean, it's just unique layout. And I think it's kind of cool. You also got a chance to run into a muskie or something like that.
Yeah, last year when we were there for the team tournament, Darren got like a 30+ incher. It was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I caught a 20 last weekend.
I thought it was 24.
Like 24. Yeah. Yeah, that was the weirdest 10 minutes I've ever had. I caught 4 fish in 5 casts.
Wow.
And one was a muskie.
Yeah, the first one was, I think, a 16 3/4. Then it was the muskie on the second cast. The third cast was the 20.5. The fourth cast I didn't get anything. Then the fifth cast I caught a 17. Yeah, I caught a 17.
Man.
And that was all up shallow in the back of the cove?
No, that wasn't.
That was deeper still? I'm surprised more people didn't catch muskie with how cold it was. I thought that a lot of people were going to have trouble with them, but I don't know. Maybe it's not as good of a muskie fishery as I thought it was.
I thought I'd get one back there in that grass where I caught that 21.5 at, for sure, especially on the second day when the clouds came out. I just like, maybe today, I have never caught one, so I thought maybe like if I, not catching bass, maybe I'll catch my first muskie. But yeah, definitely not my day for that either.
Well, I don't know. You had a pretty good day with that big boy the big girl in your kayak. That was huge.
I will take that.
That's
Yeah, for sure.
a pretty
It
decent check.
doesn't surprise me that Dalton got a muskie though, because when we went to Michigan last year for a team tournament, on his first cast he caught a walleye, which was just didn't
That's a
even
bad
make any
omen.
sense.
Yeah. I catch everything
Nice.
but the fish I want.
We didn't even know what it was. We're like, what is this fish?
I was gonna say I mean, obviously I have my reasons for enjoying Banner Marsh, but and, never been there before or anything, but I've fished a lot of strip pit lakes, like
Okay.
Peabody's I go to a lot just because it's closest to the house, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of Peabody and like Pyramid, with all the grass and everything and the snotty grass. I spent a lot of time Saturday and Sunday picking that kind of snotty grass out of my lures, every few minutes. But maybe that kind of helped me during the day. But I definitely go back and fish there again. It'd be nice to fish some of the other lakes out there too.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were at Wheel right when you came back for that first day with that big bag, because Darren always says that everybody slaughters them at Wheel early in the spring. And I bet they're back in that same area you were in, because
Yeah,
that's a really great area for kind of staging pre-spawn fishing. I've never fished it this time of year though ever, but I've fished Wheel a bunch back like 5 years ago. It's a nice little place to fish.
yeah. Instead, I got to pre-fish from about maybe 10 to 2:30 on Friday, and I think I caught like a 14 and a 15 and a half in the time I was out there, and I didn't go like all the way to the back where it tees off and talk to you, Dustin, about the overflow area and everything. But there was a guy, I think he was from Champaign or something like that, had a few kids in bass boat with him. He was coach of the high school bass team or something, and chatted with him again as they were going back in, and he said he caught a 5-pounder back there where it tees off, and that's when I made up my mind later on that night. I was like, I'm going back. Like that sold me. Then Saturday morning, get there at the ramp, and I'm the only person there, and I thought, what have I done?
And see
Clearly
that
the idiot of this out of all these anglers, because I'm the only one launching on this lake, and I didn't even see another boat until like probably like 10 o'clock or something like that.
Nice.
that's how it was when we went to Crossroads there 4 or 5 years ago. I was the only one at Wheel, and then I beat everybody on our team.
Nice, man.
I think Wheel's a fun. It's if you can't get into the overflow, it's kind of a small body of water.
Yeah.
But
Right.
there's a lot of big fish in that small body of water, though. I mean, it's not
It
as
seemed
bad
like
as I
it.
think
Yeah.
everybody thinks.
Yeah.
But
I think that Friday I caught some in that, kind of main arm that runs east-west, or I caught one there, and then one kind of on a point where there's like a little cut that goes up north. But then that last day, I made it a point, especially Sunday morning, since I caught them there Saturday, I went, straight to the back and caught them back there where it tees off north and south. But I never did kind of get in that overflow area you talked about, Dustin, because where the reeds were, I think I caught one on the south side there early Saturday. The wind was just barely pushing in, but it was like getting half a foot deep as I tried to explore where I'd seen on contours earlier in the week where had some deeper holes back there. But I was like, forget it. I'm not gonna, try. It didn't seem like it was worth it to me, but I mean, it's possible there was some better fish back there too.
it's real pretty back there. I'd like to. I still haven't fished back in that overflow where it's actually been fishable. The one time I went back there was 40-mile-per-hour winds, and I just
Yeah, no,
kind
thank
of
you.
quit. But it's really neat because it's kind of opens up, and there's a lot of little rolling contour areas and stuff. It's really neat.
A lot of pretty wildlife back there too, and birds and.
But yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that too.
that
And then
to
when
me
you
is
sit
one of
there,
the best part about
the barge goes
best
by on the
part
river
about
and it's higher
Banner.
than you are.
Yeah, there's animals all over the place. I mean, I had a big 4-foot beaver come out of the reeds and hit my live sonar transducer and go right under the boat. It was great. And there's swans everywhere honking at you. It's fun.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
So Jeff, now you came with a half inch of winning this tournament. Last year was your rookie year. So
Yeah, it was.
So what's that journey been like the last year? You're coming back. You're starting the year this year strong. You're qualified for the Classic. I mean, if you could kind of recap how things were in your so-called rookie year last year, what was your experience like last year?
I mean, it was good. I really enjoyed the club, and like it I like the lakes, and the schedule kind of worked out better than I mean, I don't mean any offense to Missouri Club I was in last year or anything. A lot of the lakes are farther away to travel, and where you're taking 2.5 hours versus 4.5 hours to get places. And then, I mean, everybody had a good day at Newton. I mean, excuse me, at Coffeen for the opener last year. And I think I finished 16th and with like 80.5 inches or something like that. And I had a good time and enjoyed it. And but then there were lows where I went to Sandcrest and actually got to pre-fish because the timing worked out. I worked for the school district over here, and school had just gotten out, so like booked a hotel for the weekend and everything. Pre-fished Thursday and Friday, some, and did good. And then Saturday, I didn't even catch a limit. And later on, I found out I didn't even submit those fish, even after whoever it was came around and said, "Did you submit your fish?" And I was like, I remember telling myself, like, "Yep, submitted them." I didn't catch but 3 over the limit, but I caught them. I submitted them to the live well. So, whatever, dumb mistake. And I was frustrated at myself. But then I set a goal for myself at the beginning of the year last year, like, I'm going to finish top 10 in the tournament. And I finished 10th at Pyramid.
Nice.
And I was on the lake with Darren and Jonathan to start the day. Where
I was there too.
Yeah, was you there too, Dustin? Okay.
Yeah, I was throwing the frog right at the ramp, not catching shit.
Yeah. But, I caught one good fish out there. I think I caught an 18. Maybe, and then caught enough to finish 10th and achieve one of my goals and set the same goal this year. Definitely
check mark.
Did not expect to be holding a big check at the end. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Being I was in the lead in day one. I was on cloud 9 texting everybody I knew. I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But I knew with Dalton right there, I knew I'd need 90 on Sunday probably to feel safe if I wanted to win, and came up whatever, inch and a quarter short. But
yeah, I think you're right at an inch.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Close.
Dalton's a good angler, and, he's the man to beat right now. And it's incredible feeling, to be right there with him, at least for one weekend anyway. Probably won't catch nothing, next tournament. So,
yeah, definitely no pressure on me.
It's been fun.
Definitely no pressure. Yeah. So
see, I just missed Dalton's rookie year when after every tournament he would come up and go, "What'd you get, Dustin?" And I'd say, "I don't know, like 86 and a quarter." And he'd go, "Oh, shoot, you beat me again."
The good old days.
That hasn't happened in like 4 years. I mean,
yeah, now I call Dustin like, "Hey, what do you got?"
Like I got one fish.
What, you already got your limit? Maybe.
Dustin pointed out earlier before we came on the air that that Dalton is the only person in the club that we believe has had an angler of the year. Well, you've had one or two anglers of the year titles, right?
Yeah, two.
Okay, and in your current angler of the year, you also were the rookie of the year, your rookie year, and you won of Classic. We don't think there's anybody else who can claim all of those.
Yeah, and I think if there's anyone else, it would. I don't think there is, because I don't think there was a rookie of the year when Darren and Reese joined. And they would have probably won it if there was, but I don't think there was. So I think Dalton's the first one to have done all three.
Impressive. So we're starting a new tournament season this April, right? So we're in April now. We've got our first event coming up April 18th at Kincaid Lake. So looking forward to the 2026 season. Jeff mentioned he set some different goals, and what about the rest of you guys? Are you guys looking towards meeting any goals? Are you trying anything new that you didn't do last year?
Not throw a buzzbait.
To not throw a buzzbait.
Yeah, I have ever since Banner, because Darren said, "Oh, throw a buzzbait. You'll catch them on a buzzbait."
Nope.
I haven't caught anything.
There are some guys that are buzzbait nuts in this club, though. They just love them.
I threw a buzzbait at Banner on Sunday because I was talking to Darren, and he said, "Bill Black buzzbait, man. It sounds like it's perfect." And I said, "How many times should I throw it?" He said, "Oh, you'll catch them within 30 casts." So I threw that buzzbait exactly 30 casts and then cut it off.
Man.
I mean, it's hard not to take advice from Darren. He's really good, especially when you're trying to beat Dalton. You're like, no one else to talk to. So,
oh my gosh.
Maybe it
I have
would have
no
worked
secrets
out.
to hide.
What's that?
I have no secrets to hide.
No.
No, you've been.
I tell you what I fish with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know where Dalton fishes. I know exactly where he fishes. I know what he fishes with those spots at Banner. Because like I said, I've done 2 team tournaments on Dalton's team at Banner. We got second in one and we won one. So I know where he fishes.
You're inside his head, right? You know what he's thinking.
I know exactly what he's doing. Like when he called me and told me he was crushing fish, I'm like, I know exactly what he's doing, where he's doing it. And I'm like, and that's why I kept going back out deeper, because I'm like, I know he's in deeper water, so these big ones must be pulled off, and I could not get anything. doing that shit. I was just lucky on the first day that fish came up, big ones came up shallow for me. But yeah, he's got some really good spots at Banner. I should just go and fish right next to him and be in an.
You did when we fished in the last event, and
No,
a still win.
the last time we fished Banner, I did after 1 o'clock because I had exactly 0 fish at 1 o'clock, and then caught like 3 fish at Dalton's spot.
I'm pretty
didn't
sure I
even
still
matter.
upgraded.
Yeah, I was done. I mean, but no, he's got some good spots at Banner that are pretty tough to beat. That's why I like seeing somebody like Jeff go to Wheel and show us some even more spots, because when you look at Banner, you feel like there's not a whole lot of places to go with those 3 lakes, but man, there are like some really specific spots where you can hammer fish on Banner. And it's cool that Jeff found one, because that's one that I'm putting down in my head that early spring I'm going to be at Wheel throwing at the back of that tee.
Yeah, play that wind out there past that tee, man. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah,
Follow the wind.
yeah. Because
I bet it'd been better if the water was higher too, like you mentioned, fishing the reeds. I caught one back there on the south end, like on a shallow stump that wouldn't have been like maybe 1.5 2 foot of water. Water was up another foot or two. I bet it'd be good in there.
Yeah, I know when we went to Banner for the team tournament last year, me and Darren started off terrible. I was at the pump house, and I forget where Darren was, and he called me, and I'm like, yeah, I got like one little 14-inch fish. And then we all went to shovel, and we did better. But within the first 45 minutes of that tournament, Dalton called, and he had like 3 20s in like 45 minutes. And it was like, what the hell are you doing? It seems like his spots, there's fish on them every time. Like, even when we were heading off the ramp on Saturday, he was like, oh, I'm going to start here. And I'm like, yeah, you'll probably catch a 20 right there. He caught like a 19 there in the first 30 minutes. It's like, how's that possible? How are the fish always at his spots?
They like Dalton, man. He likes them one.
But I will say, on Saturday, I thought that the same thing was going to happen to me. I was at a spot that I knew produced big fish, and it did. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be the same thing. My spot is going to keep producing. It's just going to get warmer. And it didn't. I mean, I traveled around this one circle so many times, and I caught exactly 1 fish every time I made this one loop. And it was off the same twig every time.
Wow.
And it was a 13-incher every time.
That same fish was mad at you, Dustin. It's like, God, why do I keep falling for this?
If it didn't change from 13 to 13 1/4 to 13 1/2 to 13 1/4, I would have thought it was the same fish every time. It was like someone was playing a joke on me. It's terrible. Yeah. No, I think it's going to be a fun season this year. I think we got some good lakes in.
Mm-hmm.
Kincaid will be fun.
It's always
Everyone
good.
sucks at Kincaid. So
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
just get 80 inches, and you're going to finish with a check, because everyone sucks.
I've never been there, so I don't know if I'll make out one either. So I hope I do.
I think I can name the top 3.
I can name the top. If it's the same top 3 that's been the top 3 at Kincaid for the last 3 times we've been there, it'll be Dalton, me, and Darren. Because that's the only people that ever catch near 80 inches.
All right, so I got probably another 20 people that are going to be fishing that event that should be watching this podcast once I post it. So you guys just heard that's a challenge.
It's not a challenge. It's literally, we don't do good. It's just that everyone sucks at Kincaid. Like, you'll get 78 inches and think, wow, I did terrible. And you're like, wow, second place.
I thought it was supposed to be a pretty decent lake. I mean, obviously it's on the trail would be, you'd think, I mean, it's
the only person in our league.
I've heard good things.
The only person in our league that's ever done good at Kincaid ever is Darren. He's figured out how to somehow get like high 80s, and then it drops to like 80. Nobody else can figure out how to get above 80 on that lake in our tournaments. Even pre-spawn, spawn. The last time we went there was spawn conditions. When I pre-fished, I got a big 20, I got a 19. Tournament day, 5/16s, and 3rd place. I mean, it's and then shit, that one year, only the person who won caught 4 fish. And then I caught 3 and got 2nd place. It's Kincaid can be really shitty. It's tough.
Tell us how you really feel, Doug.
I like it because I've always cast a check every time we go to Kincaid. It's like my super check cashing lake, but it's not because I do good. It's because everybody sucks at Kincaid.
Well, we'll see if your predictions hold true.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's like one of those things where, Jeff, in the beginning, how you said everybody kicked ass at Caffeine last year. When this league started, the winning total at Caffeine would be like 76. It was just an impossibly difficult lake to fish. It had grass all over the whole damn thing, and nobody did good there ever. And then all of a sudden they killed all the grass and people just hammer fish there, and
Mhm.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
And now we love it.
that's favorite place.
Kincaid is like covered in grass and nobody does good there. And I would love to see it switch and all of a sudden people go out there and just hammer fish on there. But based on our history of 6 tournaments we've had at Kincaid, nobody has ever done good besides Darren. And that's it.
You're not exactly an advertisement for enrolling in the tournament.
I know, right? Like, I looking at the calendar, like, well, maybe I can make it. Like, now I don't want to go.
I've caught exactly
To cut this
120
part
inch
out of
fish
the
at
podcast.
Kincaid ever.
Guess that's going to give me a hard time.
It was pre-fish. My problem with Kincaid is it's kind of, what's sad is all those times I've gotten second and third place at Kincaid have been off the same spot. I just go to the same spot and catch 5, 15 to 16 inch fish, and then that's all I'll catch and get second or third.
Is that one of those lakes where you use your just sit in one spot all day?
Oh yeah, I sit in the same spot there all day because I don't know how to catch any other good fish anywhere else on that lake. I think I know where Darren has been all very coy about where his spots are at Kincaid. So I don't exactly know where he fishes on Kincaid. But wherever he fishes, there's a lot of big fish. But
he's watching this right now, just grinning ear to ear.
Like I said, I hope we go out there and multiple people get 90s, but I feel like people are going to struggle, and it'll be. What's kind of nice about those tournaments is anybody can win because you think you had a bad day and you're like, oh wow, pretty good.
Interesting.
I just think out of our lakes that we usually fish, Sancris, Newton, Cedar, I think the total number of big fish at Kincaid is much lower. And so it's just, you might get a big fish here or there, but I don't think it's going to be 5 over 18.
It's not like Banner. You're going to get out of these 19s or 20s. Nice.
Or Newton or Sancris or, it's just not that kind of lake.
So are there any stops on the tournament trail season you're looking forward to besides Kincaid that you're looking forward to most going to? We've got a few. Well, we got at least 1 or 2 new ones, right? We got one.
I mean, mine's already passed. I would say Banner, but
I was the one who scheduled. I don't even remember what all lakes we're going to.
Is Sancris back this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it goes
on there.
Here, I'll tell you.
Kincaid, Crab Orchard,
Coffee. Yeah,
Coffeen.
I'm excited for Crab Orchard.
Sancris, Cedar, and then end up in Newton. So tell me about Crab Orchard. I've never been there.
We've had one tournament in SIK ever at Crab Orchard, and it was feels like 130 day or something that. And so they made it a 3-fish tournament that ended at noon. And I think maybe 9 people showed up or 10 people showed up. I caught exactly 2 fish deep crankbaiting the dam, and they were both gigantic drum. So
they'll fool you every time, man.
Well, but just saying that right off the bat, Crab Orchard is the biggest lake on our schedule that we've done, and it fishes more like a larger reservoir. There's a lot of non-target species in there, like big drum, that screw with you, which can be aggravating. But Kevin Cox loves Crab Orchard. I would say going into it, he's probably got to be the guy to beat at Crab. Yeah. His personal best is there. He says it's 27 inches or something. It's probably 21, but he says he's got a picture. I don't know if I believe it. But Crab Orchard used to be the big bass lake of the region. I mean, if you look at state records in the Midwest, if you look at the Missouri state record, it's at the biggest lake at the most southern part of Missouri, Bull Shoals. When you look at Southern Illinois, the biggest fish should be at the biggest lake in the most southern region. It's Crab Orchard. I mean, I remember when I first moved here, there was a newspaper article where a guy pulled an 11.4 out of there. I mean, there's big fish at Crab Orchard. I know it's been down. The fishery's not been managed. Well, I don't know if it's management or what, but it's been down for a few years. But if they can, I know they've been actively trying to manage it better by doing some protected spawn sites and stuff. And if that lake can come back, this would be a big fish in that lake. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see some pretty gigantic bass going there in May, post-spawnish kind of conditions. I think we'll see some big fish. Big issue, though, is guys with motors are going to have a huge advantage because it is a beast
to get across. A lot of water to cover.
Yeah, Crab Orchard's a beast to cross that lake. So I don't know. I think I would say Kevin Cox has a motor. He's fished there a lot. He'll be tough to beat at Crab, but should be fun. And we got every ramp, so even if you don't have a motor, you can ramp wherever you want, try to get to your spot. So should be a good time.
Yeah, the IDNR says the fishing outlook for largemouth bass is very good at crab orchards, but their notes talk about the spawning problems. It looks like it's been up and down a little bit. Body condition of largemouth bass at Crab Orchard Lake has remained excellent.
You have to look up that picture where the guy caught the 11-pounder because he's holding it. He won the tournament, but he also caught like a 5-pounder, and he's holding them both up next to each other. So like a normal 20 and then that 11. That 20 looks like a 16-incher next to that 11-pounder. That guy. I mean, it's amazing. But so there's definitely some highlight fish there.
Interesting.
I'll miss the Coffeen tournament. We'll be in Alaska in June. I had to send y'all a picture of a halibut or something like that if we hook into one of those up there or something.
That's great.
Going on a cruise?
Yeah.
What cruise?
What are we doing? Norwegian, and I think we're on the 7 days.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did Norwegian Jade.
Nice, man. Did you fish up there too?
Yeah, I can only catch cod. That was the only thing I caught.
Really? I mean,
Yeah.
Well, worst things to catch.
Yeah.
We might do 2 charters, but definitely want to try one for halibut. I mean, even if it's something small. And I think they got like king salmon they can run in right that time or something. I can't remember.
The food was not. I was not impressed by the food at all on that boat.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, like they had these high dollar ones that like you spend $80 just to eat there. And honestly, I have restaurants around here that's 1,000 times better.
It's fair. Yeah, the buffet is like the place you go where you just eat, something to get your day going after you hang out at the bar all night or something. But we've liked it. This is like our 3rd or 4th cruise, and it's just I'm looking forward to going fishing in Alaska.
Yeah.
With the charter and everything.
Yes. So
yeah, kind of sad. I'm gonna miss the Coffeen tournament though.
Yeah, I remember I did a sabbatical up in Seattle area. Like I stayed on Friday Harbor Lab or the San Juan Island at Friday Harbor Labs for a month or so. And I was excited to go fishing. And then I got there and they all said that I had to book the fishing trips like 3 months in advance. So I didn't even get to go because it was so crowded. So I would suggest looking into that before you go.
Yeah. I've already reached out to a couple like charters that could, like meet us at the like port of entry and everything. So got a couple options open. Then of course, you got kind of the party boat things that you can book through the cruise and stuff like that. But I'd like to try and avoid that just, because you get Joe Smo beside you and, 6 cocktails deep at 10 o'clock in the morning and getting your line tangled up with you or something like that. But
yeah.
I don't know. Either way, it'll be fun. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Jared, I sent you the picture. I sent you that news article. I sent it.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to do a episode on tips on how to work in fishing trips on family vacations.
Yeah, I remember when I drove up to Seattle and then took a boat to San Juan Island when I did that sabbatical, and I remember thinking I should take my kayak with me. But then I remember trying to read the rules and regulations for fishing up there in the Puget Sound, and like it changes daily based on catch, and then there's off limits areas because of whale nesting and stuff. And so I was like, man, this sounds confusing. I'm just gonna get a guide and go do it. And then I got there and they're like, oh yeah, we're booked up for the next 2 months. And I'm like, shit.
Bummer, man.
Should have just brought my kayak. Sad.
Yeah, I tried looking into that too since we're, flying into Seattle just to knock Washington off my state list and looking at their fishing regulations. It's like, what? I don't know. I got other things to plan before I try and sort through all that.
Now, I will say this: the curator at the Burke Museum there at the University of Washington is a good friend of mine. He is a very good smallmouth fisherman, and he kayak fishes. His name's Luke Torbini. He's a nice guy. So if you're stuck in Seattle for a couple of days and there's a way to get a kayak, that guy he's an exceptional kayak fisherman.
Do like my smallmouth fishing. We'll say that.
Yeah, he used to be down in Texas, and he used to just slaughter gigantic speckled trout down there when he was at Corpus Christi. Man,
yeah, good fishing down there.
I'm trying to bring that picture up. I got it up, and I just got to share it. That is a monster.
Yeah, I was kind of sad. I was kind of sad we got Newton Lake at the end of the year again, but that was pretty fun last year. So I think everyone will enjoy the September Newton. But that was the only time we could end up getting it. It's not that kind of.
I like Newton. I'd never fished there before the tournament. Oh wow!
Yeah. So the small was the 5-pounder from Crab.
Yeah, it was 11.71, and that was like that was probably 2018 was that newspaper article. So there's Crab Orchard's got some big fish.
Jesus.
So,
Would you say 1171?
Yeah, 11.71.
Jesus.
That boy can eat whatever he wants in that way.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But like I said, Kevin Cox swears he caught a 27-incher out of there. So probably on a tube or one of his little yellow crankbaits. He's got about 100 little yellow crankbaits that he likes. So Kevin Cox is funny because when he finds something he likes, he buys 1,000 of it, and so he's got a whole box of these yellow little lipless crankbaits that I'm pretty sure he caught his big one on that there. So everybody should buy little yellow lipless crankbaits.
I'll show up to Craft Orchard.
All of it tied up, walk right past him.
Hey, Kevin, you think this lure will work?
Little yellow lipless
just have a bucket full of them and hand them out when people pull up in the morning.
There's no way they make them anymore because all that stuff that he has isn't made anymore. So he'll be the only one that has them. So it's like his tube hooks. Did he ever tell you? I don't remember in that episode when he was doing his tubes. Did he tell you about those tube hooks?
Yes, he did. The fact that he was scouring the world for them.
He called every tackle shop in the country and got those. I mean, he bought everybody out. He's got like 10,000 of them.
Jeez.
I mean, and they work really well too.
Hey, at least he knows what he's fishing with.
Hey, like what you like, man. You got your comfort baits, and
but I'll tell you,
that's how you roll.
He's been on a tear lately. I mean, he finished the sixth season strong. Then had a good performance at Chickamauga. He's going to be tough to beat at Banner. I'd say if
Kevin's been
my
tough since the day
prediction
showed up.
is that if anybody challenges Dalton for AOY this year, I think Kevin Cox can do it. I think that guy's a crafty veteran, and he's going to beat Dalton with a yellow lipless crankbait.
Yep.
Bold prediction.
That's my prediction.
There you go. All right, guys. So we're approaching an hour, so we're going to bring this thing in for a landing. You guys have really been interesting. I've picked up cruise tips. I've picked up tips on how to beat Kevin with his own baits. That's good stuff. So first of all, anything else you guys want to get in before we close down?
I just want to say congrats to Dalton on a good finish Sunday, and again, thanks to John and everybody else who helped out judging anything else with the tournament on this past weekend. And, shout to Josh Lincoln, our past director, new father and everything. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope to see you out there on the water this year. And, tight lines to everybody in the club. And hope some people have some good year and somebody can step up and knock Dalton off his throne, man.
Yeah. Jeff, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's all awesome closing there. So we'll be back with another episode just right after our what was that date again? April 18th tournament coming up, and that'll be our first regular season tournament. So if you're sitting on the sidelines and you haven't decided whether you want to compete or not, hey, get that membership bought, show up at a tournament, and have a good time. So thanks again, guys, for being here tonight, and congratulations all three of you on a fantastic finish at Banner Marsh, and we look forward to having you guys back. Thanks again.
Thanks, gentlemen. Y'all have a good night, man. Good to see y'all.
Yep.